Hi all, this is Dr. Arpana Chaturvedi from the Department of Information Technology. The subject which I am taking is Artificial Intelligence, and in this we are talking about learning, which is a part of Unit 4. And within this we have already talked about learning components and learning paradigms. Today we will talk about learning models. Basically, learning is one of the fundamental building block of artificial intelligence solutions. And if we talk from the conceptual point of view, we say that learning is a process that improves the knowledge of an AI program by making observations about its environment. Whatever it's observing from the environment, on the basis of which it learns every time for the improvisation of the knowledge, so that future can give better output to the environment. And from a technical and mathematical point, AI learning processes focused on processing a collection of input-output pairs for a specific domain or for a specific function, and predicts the output for new inputs. So already they store so many number of inputs and output pairs with respect to a particular domain of different sizes, of different parameters. Later on they create a model, and on that model, whenever any input comes, they predicts the output for that new input on the basis of already stored training set or labeled set in the form of stored in the form of input and output. So most of the artificial intelligence basic literature identifies two main group of learning models. First is supervised and second is unsupervised. However, that classification is an oversimplification of real world AI learning models and techniques. So we say that to understand the different types of AI learning models, we can use two of the main elements of human learning processes. What is that? How human being learn. That human learning processes which human being are having in themselves is first of all the knowledge acquired in various ways, like by learning from experience, by learning from advice, by learning from the environment, or from the feedback also, from the critics also. So from the knowledge perspective, learning models can be classified based on the representation of input output data points as well. Whatever the input is coming, what should be the output. And in terms of the feedback, if we talk, AI learning model can be classified based on the interaction with the outside environment, with the users or with the external factors. So this is what basically main element which is a part of human learning processes, and following this human learning processes also keeping in point this knowledge perspective through which the human being learn, and the feedback, we design the model for AI based machines also. So say that if we talk about knowledge based classification, then we say that factoring this representation on the basis of knowledge, AI learning models are basically classified into two types. First is inductive learning and second is deductive learning. And at the same time, if we talk about inductive learning models, this type of AI learning model is based on inference, or inferring from the rules which are being stored in the knowledge base, or which are stored in the data sets in the form of input and output pairs. So the information is already stored in the database in the form of input and output, and from this they will be generating some rules, and on the basis of those all rules which are being induced or inferred from the stored knowledge base, we will be going to have some output for a new input. So for this, what we say, algorithms such as knowledge based inductive learning is one of the example of this type of inductive learning model. It focuses on finding inductive hypothesis on a given data set with the help of some background knowledge which is being already given in the knowledge base. And if we talk about deductive learning, this type of AI learning starts with the series of rules and inferts new rules that are more efficient in context of a specific AI algorithm. The two deductive techniques which we use is explanation-based learning and relevance-based learning. Explanation-based learning extracts general rules from example and they generalized it so that any input which can be going to get fitted with that generalized output can give a proper output on the basis of the explanation provided to find out a generalization. And RBL focuses on identifying attributes and deductive generalization from a simple example. So this we see in detail later on, but now after knowledge representation, if we talk about AI learning model which are based on feedback based classification. So these are of four types. One is supervised learning, unsupervised learning, semi-supervised learning and reinforced learning. So till time what we studied that if we talk about human learning models and compare it with AI learning models, so it depends upon two factors. One is knowledge and another is feedback. And if we talk about knowledge, there are two different types of learning algorithm. What are those? Those are inductive and deductive. And if we talk about feedback, these are of four types. Those are supervised, unsupervised, semi-supervised and reinforced. Whereas when we talk about deductive techniques, it can be explanation based and reinforcement based. So this we do again in detail, with detail. What is there one by one we see, we talk about inductive learning, that is learning by example. In this learning process, a general rule is induced by a system from some set of already observed instances which are being stored in the machine, and this involves a process of learning by example where a system tries to induce a general rule from those set of observed instances. This involves classification, that is assigning to a particular input the name of a class to which it belongs. However, class definition can be constructed with the help of classification method. And we say that there are two types of inductive learning. One is supervised and another is unsupervised. And if we talk about classification, it is important to many problem to solve tasks. A learning system should be capable of evolving its own class description, that which kind of data or which group of data should come within which class on the basis of its characteristics. And initial class definition may not be adequate, but the world may not be well understood or rapidly changing. But the task of constructing class definition is called induction or concept learning, wherein on the basis of properties, similar properties, they will be going to classify the data sets into small subunits and keep on classifying till we will not able to get a particular group which is having a particular properties and lying within a particular class. So, in this, if we talk about only supervised learning, so this supervised learning means there is a supervisor, there is a teacher who is there to guide them, who is there to correct them. And this learning is the machine learning task of inferring a function from the label training set, which already we have stored in the machine. And this training data set is having so many number of input and output and are treated as a set of training example. In supervised learning, each example is a pair consisting of an input object and a desired output object. For example, face recognition, wherein we know that if this type of face is appearing, then this person is this. So they have already fed with the image that this image is of this person. So next time whenever any person come and wants to get entry to a particular place, they'll recognize their face and they say yes, this face is right and the entry should be given to this one, and they will open the gate or allow the person to enter. So in supervised learning, the learning element is given correct value of the function for a particular input and changes its representation of the function to try to match the information provided by the feedback. This can be explained as, let's say f is the target function. An example is a pair of x comma fx, where x is the input and fx is the output which we have received on applying x input to it. So the task of pure inductive inference or induction is, given a collection of examples, returns a function h, that is a hypothesis which approximates it, and this function h is called hypothesis. The other examples are like, see, you have seen this thing that if you want to learn C program, they'll make a C program first of all and then tell you that these are the rules how the C program is being made. Or you can say, if you want to learn, so they have given some training data and then they are saying ki, okay, this is how this thing is working in this way because of following these all rules. Similarly, how to use tenses. In case you want to learn how to use tenses, they will tell you, give you example that this is the sentence in which this particular tense is used and this is the rule which is being applied. Before explaining the rule, they will give you one example which you have to see and understand that how it is being happened, what is the rule which is being followed to get that kind of output. So we say that to measuring the performance of any learning algorithm, we should understand that we need to collect some set of examples. Then we have to divide it into two disjoint sets. One will be a training set and another will be a test set. Use the learning algorithm with the training set as example to generate the hypothesis. Once the hypothesis has been achieved or received, measure the percentage of example in the test set that are correctly being classified by that hypothesis. You have to keep on repeating step 1 to 4 for different sizes of training sets and different random values selected from the training set of each size. This is another example wherein human use inductive reasoning in various ways and reach to a general conclusion from some limited set of facts which is done by the process of generalization. Let's say you are given some cases that monkey in Hyderabad zoo eat bananas. Then you have seen another case that monkey in Banaras zoo eat bananas. Then might be you have seen few more cases where you have seen that monkey in a particular state zoo eats banana. So you can what you can generalize. You can generalize from all the various cases which you have observed, which you have seen that all the monkeys eats bananas. So this is induction. You have induced, you have generalized the process on the basis of certain input and output given to you, where input is being mapped with a respected output in a particular domain. So we say that the system tries to induce a general rule from the observed set of instances, and the learning method extracts rules and patterns out of massive data set. The learning process belongs to supervised learning, classifies and constructs some number of class definition, which is called as inductive or concept learning. The technique used for constructing class definitions are Winston learning, version spaces and decision trees. We'll not talk about all, but we can consider at least one, that is Winston learning. What this Winston learning says, which is an example of induction learning or learning from example, he said in 1975 he described a blocks word learning program, and this program operated in a simple block domains where the goal is to construct representation of the definition of concepts in the block domain. So the concept was to build a house. You have to start with the input, a line drawing of a block word structure. It learned that concept house, tent and arcs as bricks, which is a rectangular block, wedge is a triangular block, suitably placed on the brick, tents as two wedges touching side by side, or an arc as two non-touching bricks supporting to a third wedge or a brick. So for this, if we see over here that the program for each concept is learned through near miss. A near miss is nothing but an object that is not an instance of a concept but very similar to such instances. And the program uses procedure to analyze the drawing and construct a semantic network. As for example here, to design this structure for the house, this is the semantic network where node A, this node A represent entire structure which is composed of two part B and C, whereas node B is a wedge and C is a brick. And we say that A has a part B and A has a part C, wherein B is a wedge and C is a brick, and B and C is supported by C. Fine. This is a link in network which has included certain part like has a, is a, and supported by. And this is how we can show that the concept house can be built in this way. So this type, now the second type is learning by taking advice. To understand this learning by taking advice, this type is the easiest and simplest way of learning. In this type of learning, a programmer writes a program to give some instructions to perform a task to the computer, and the programmer is like a teacher and the computer is a student. So when it is learned or programmed, the system will be in position or can say that he is able to do new things also. So there can be several sources for taking advices like human beings or internet, Googles and all, or experts, etc. And however, this type of learning has a more necessity of inferencing than rote learning where you memorize the thing or repeat the things. So the stored knowledge must be transformed into an operational form before stored in the knowledge base. Moreover, the reliability of the source of knowledge should be considered, and the system should ensure that the new knowledge is conflicting with the existing knowledge. So in this, the example is first operational operationalizer. It is a learning system which is used to learn the game of heart. It converts the advice which is in the form of rules or principles or problems and methods into effective executables procedure, that is list procedures or knowledge, and this knowledge is ready for use once the stored information is lying over there and it's able to get the advice, convert the advice from the knowledge base in the form of rules to solve a particular problem. Next is explanation based learning. Basically, when we talk about explanation based learning, human appears to learn quite a lot from one example. And human learning is accomplished by examining particular situation and relating them to the background knowledge. That this is the situation in background, something is happening, there is some background knowledge in the form of known general principle, and then when you just examine a particular situation and you relate it with the background knowledge which is in the form of general principle, then this kind of learning is known as explanation based learning, where you are explaining that okay fine, this is the situation but in the past this is what happened, and that time these are the explanations which are being given to produce that particular output, and now the situation is similar kind of situation, so to give a solution we have to use that background knowledge and we have to produce a particular output. So in this, the general approach is is basically the explanation based learning is abstracting a general concept from a particular training example. You're having training example, you have to generalize the concept. It is a technique to formulate general concepts on the basis of the specific training example related to a particular domain. It analyzes the specific training example in terms of domain knowledge and goal concept. We are having a domain knowledge, we are having a goal concept, and now you have to just analyze the thing and give the output. The result of EBL is an explanation structure which explains why the training example is an instance of a goal concept. And the explanation structure is then used as the basis for formulating the general concept. Firstly, we explain why the training example is this, work like this to give this particular output, and on the basis of that you will be formulating a general concept for the new input, for the new problem for which the output is to be given. Thus EBL provides a way of generalizing a machine generated explanation of a situation into rules that apply not only to the current situation but to all the situations which are of similar type. This is an example, this is an architecture of explanation based learning, wherein this is a knowledge base where already existing training data is being stored, training set or label set is already been stored. Here the new input is coming, which is having some specific goal or problem. Here there is some partial external solution also. There is a problem solver which understand that what is the goal, what kind of problem is over there, what can be the external solution they are looking for, what is the goal, and for this, using this already existing concept, they will going to compare it and just work on the explanation part, and using this knowledge base and the explanation with respect to that particular existing training data set and the new input, they will be going to produce a generalized concept using generalization. So this is the basic architecture of explanation based learning. So on the basis of this, I think you are able to understand that how the generalized concept is being produced using the already existing knowledge base and the problem solver, which is considering the new input, specific goal or problem, and the partial external solution along with the explanation of it will be going to have or use to produce a general statement for a new general concept. Here is a schematic representation of EPL, wherein you can just see these yellow figures. These all are the external world, where the goal concept is coming from outside, domain theory is being given, training example is being provided, and operationality criteria is also being fed to the internal things, and internal objects are problem solver, which will be going to take input from the training example, domain theory, and the goal concept, and analyzing, tracing how to generate a general statement using generalizing, using some operationality criteria, and once they have that general concept, they will be going to produce the result. So here explain that input to EBL, the block color yellow are external to EBL. There are four kind of inputs which will be getting to the EBL. One is training example, which is a collection of facts or situations, which describes a particular instance of the goal concept. Goal concepts are some predicate calculus statements. These are high level descriptions of concepts that the program is supposed to learn. Example, the definition of a object cup. In function, structure involves functional properties, not the structural property. What this cup can be used for, what is to lift is able or not, open the vessel or not, stable or not. Neither we will be looking for structural property like what color it is, whether it is light or not, it is pointing or not, or it is a part of something or not. And when we talk about domain theory, it is basically a collection of inference rule which it will be going to infer. It represents the facts and rules that constitutes what the learner knows, and the fact describes an instance of the goal concept, and the rule describe relationship between the object and action in a domain. Like the cup domain includes facts like it is concavities, it is having bases, it is having lugs, as well as some rules like it is having liftability, stability, or what is the thing which makes it as work as an open vessel. So this is a domain theory, which is a collection of facts and rules through which we can infer some new rules. An operational criteria describes the concept. A description is an appropriate form of final concept. A predicate from domain theory over concept definition specifying the form in which the learned concept definition must be expressed. It should be expressible. Whereas when we talk about description of EBL algorithm, with the help of the four inputs we have just seen, the task has to construct the explanation in terms of the domain theory and then determine a set of sufficient conditions under which the explanation you are giving get holded. So what are those two stages? One is explain, one is generalize. Explain is construct an explanation in terms of the domain theory that showed how the training example satisfies the goal concept definition. This explanation must be constructed so that each branch of the explanation structure terminates in an expression that satisfies the operationality criteria. Whereas generalize is to determine a set of sufficient conditions under which the explanation holds, stated in terms that satisfies the operationality criteria. This is accomplished by regressing, that is back propagating the goal concept through the explanation structure. And the conjunction of the resulting expression constitutes the desired concept definition. So we can say that the explanation based learning deals with an idea of single example learning. And this type of learning usually requires a substantial number of training instances, but there are two difficulties. It is difficult to have such number of training instances, and sometimes it may help us to learn certain things effectively, especially when we have enough knowledge. Hence, it is clear that instance-based learning is more data extensive or data driven, while explanation-based learning is more knowledge intensive or knowledge driven. So, on the basis of this, we say that initially an explanation-based learning system accepts a training example on the basis of which goal concept and operationality criteria and domain theory, it generalizes the training example to describe the goal concept and satisfy the operationality criteria, which are usually some set of rules that describes the relationship between the given object and actions in a domain. The several applications are possible for the knowledge acquisition as well as for engineering aspects. Then learning in problem solving. Humans have a tendency to learn by solving various real world problems. The form or representation or the exact entity problem solving principle is based on reinforcement learning. So therefore repeating certain action result in desirable outcomes while the action is avoided if it results into undesirable outcomes. And as the outcomes have to be evaluated, this type of learning also involves the definition of utility function. This function shows how much is a particular outcome worth. There are several research issues which includes the identification of the learning rate, time, algorithm complexity, convergence, representation, handling of uncertainty, adaptivity or unlearning, etc. So this is how we do learn in problem solving. And if we talk about reinforcement learning, the reinforcement learning and is this: the system knows the desirable outcomes but does not know which action result it should be implemented to get the desirable outcome. In such a problem or domain, the effect of performing the actions are usually compounded with some side effects also. Those can be positive, can be negative. So it becomes impossible to specify the actions to be performed in accordance to the given parameter. It depends that which action will be taken and what will be the output. So in this model, it uses opposite dynamics such as rewards as well as penalty. So the type of learning technique is becoming really popular in modern AI solution. Reason behind: reinforcement learning is a feedback based learning method in which a learning agent gets a reward for each right action and gets a penalty for each wrong action. And the agent learns automatically with these feedbacks and improves its performance next time. In reinforcement learning, the agent interacts with the environment and explores itself. The goal of an agent is to get the most reward points and has it improves its performance. Like the robotic dog which automatically learns the movement of his arm in an example of reinforcement learning. Or We can say that imagine a robot that can act in the world, receiving reward and punishment, and determine from these what it should do. And when it able to determine that to get the reward, this particular action is more suitable, then after learning that, it will learn take that action only, and this is the problem of reinforcement learning. Most reinforcement learning research is conducted within mathematical framework of Markov decision process. If we look at another example is game playing, where on each and every successful move you get an award, whereas in case of unsuccessful move you get a penalty. So this is a diagram which explains you that this is an agent, this is an environment. Take a action A1, then will be getting the reward and there will be a change in the state. But if this action is not best fitted, then it will be getting penalty also. Fine. So this is all about different models of learning, and in this we learned that when we talk about reinforcement learning, it learns from the feedback and past experiences. It's a long-term iterative process. The more you follow the feedback, the more improvement you will be doing, the more accurate system will get designed and the better performance will be getting. And example is robot training example, or self-driving car, or deep adversarial algorithm, or q-learning algorithm. One of the best story from the PK movie regarding clustering and reinforcement is like PK. You have seen in PK movie that he was not given any input. He was observing from the environment only. And when he came, he start observing and start classifying the people into small categories. That if the person wears such kind of clothes, the person is a woman or a girl or a man or a old man or a boy or a child. So he classified on the basis of the characteristics he observed from its surrounding. So that is a part of unsupervised learning, wherein no input was, no training data set was being given. Whatever the input he was receiving from the environment, he was just classifying or making a clusters of those all input provided to them on the basis of characteristics. And next time, whenever he gets similar kind of object, he easily get to know, okay, fine, he's a girl or a boy or a man or a person who worship or a Muslim in that way. Fine. And there, if we talk about reinforcement learning, so once PK has given 50 rupees to a person and got a carrot in reward, but next time when he was given, he was charged with penalty. So he come to know, he made a policy, he designed a new policy that no, this thing will not be going to work again. So this is what is reinforcement learning. This is all about the learning models, and see you in the next class. Have a nice time. Thank you.